So what is the most popular question that I receive on my channels? Really, it's one of two. And to me, basically, it's the same question.
Why do you like NASCAR and ESPN more than NASCAR and Fox? Why do you hate NASCAR and Fox so much?
Well, guess what? Today, I'm going to answer that question. This is Top 10 Countdown. Reasons Ultimate23Dragon prefers NASCAR and ESPN over NASCAR on Fox. The other network has been superior since day one. Now think back to 2001. That's when the mega deal for the television contracts were announced, where NASCAR on Fox and FX and NASCAR on NBC and TNT would take over and basically split half the season. The first half would be NASCAR on Fox and FX, and the second half of the season would be NASCAR on NBC and TNT. You see, by the end of that year, I made the determination that the NASCAR on NBC and TNT coverage was better than the NASCAR on Fox coverage. For some reason, not many people agreed with that. And personally, I'm still not sure why today. But anyway, here's basically my thoughts about this. Even when after the 2004 season, they shifted, making Bill Weber the main announcer for the NBC TNT coverage up to NBC's departure the first time, and then until Bill Weber's unceremonious firing at the end of 2009. That was basically the closest that NASCAR on Fox has gotten to in terms of superior elements in terms of head announcer, because Bill Weber, he was kind of good, but not realistically. Believe me, he's no Alan Bestwick. And speaking of Bestwick, when ESPN got the parts of the coverage again starting in 2007, we started with Jerry Punch's lead announcer. Now I know everyone's going to say, "Are you kidding me? Jerry Punch is not better than Mike Joy." Well, you're right, but do you really think Fox was that good at that point? Not really. To me, realistically, Joy's coverage and Punch's coverage was really a tie. Then when Marty Reed took over, and I know a lot of you is going to say, "Oh, no, don't talk about Marty Reed." Hang on. Just some minor stuff. I'll refer to him in another video. I think Reed's coverage was a little bit better than what Fox had to offer with Mike, Larry, and Daryl. But then once you got Alan Bestwick in there, that changed the game completely. NASCAR on Fox can't compare with NASCAR on ESPN when Alan Bestwick is leading the helm for ESPN. It's just that. It's just that simple. Basically, ever since day one, except with the minor possibilities of the couple of seasons where Punch and Weber were the head commentators, depending on your preference, NASCAR on Fox has always been second place. Heck, I'll take Rick Allen and his truck crew over Mike Joy's Cup crew. I'm that serious. Because, face it, in an overall aspect, NASCAR on Fox has never been the superior thing. Never been the superior network. In anything. I know a lot of you don't believe that, but that's my opinion. Oh, you Fox announcers and your notorious dumb jokes. I don't know why every time I watch a NASCAR on Fox broadcast, I have to hear a stupid joke at least 5 times in every race or racing event. It could be a rain delay. It could be a debris delay. Pothole gate. It could be any sort of situation. And somehow, those guys always gotta make a joke out of it. There are times to be funny. There are times to be serious. These guys think being funny is the only way. As someone who likes comedies, let me tell you, that's not necessarily true. In fact, among all the dumb jokes I have heard from NASCAR on Fox over the years, This is the one that stands out to most to me.
Many NASCAR fans accused me for many years of having a hatred for NASCAR on Fox. I finally traced the reason why. It's because of what Mike Joy says in this scene.
Pounds are going to come around. That's why I stay so thin. I don't know what's next for me. You never can tell.
They've got ribs in the hotel. They've got ribs up in the booth. They've got ribs everywhere.
The sad part is, Darrell Waltrip was the logical one in this scene.
A little ribbing going on. Let's do some more ribbing, guys.
Well, maybe we can send one to Johnny Benson. Understand he needs one. Needs a rib. And since that joke didn't go anywhere, we'll put it Dick Barker in.
I'm trying to think if that's funny or not.
It wasn't. Never mind.
Thank you, Mike Joy, for your stupid butt rib joke. Really, it was that dumb. And a little secret here, I was at the race Johnny was injured in the day before. Yeah, try sleeping through that at night. Knowing one of your top dogs was injured at a race you went to at your home track. So, no, Mike Joy, that did not help. There are times to be funny, there are times to be serious. The NASCAR on Fox crew has to learn that. And it's obviously they don't. And at this rate, I don't think they ever will. Not counting the leaders at any point, the pit road rundowns, that ESPN refers to as through the field, just in case you don't know, or the cautions caused by never featured drivers, NASCAR on Fox realistically only shows somewhere between 7 to 10 drivers in a race. Do you ever recall watching a NASCAR on Fox broadcast and always wonder why they don't talk about a lot of drivers? That's why. They only talk about a few certain drivers. Excluding Daytona or Talladega because of the restrictor plate stuff and the possibilities of an underdog winning, how many drivers do you really realistically hear them cover? Okay, let's see. You got all the Hendrick drivers, 1 or 2 Roush drivers, 1 or 2 Stewart-Haas drivers, 1 Childress maybe, and typically 1 Gibbs, 2 on a rare occasion, and that's about it. Basically, the NASCAR on Fox crew will cover somewhere between 7 to 11 drivers per race all the time, or 90% of the time in the restrictor plate cases. Yeah, they're that lazy when it comes to covering the drivers. NASCAR on Fox only cares about the top 7 to 11 drivers in every race. Maybe a few people in the back of the pack if it's one of their main people. Here's a good example. You can have David Gilliland. He could be running in 13th spot, having a solid run, but the NASCAR on Fox crew is focused on Kyle Busch in 41st position, 159 laps down. They'll cover like 5 laps straight, 20 if at Martinsville. That's how bad the NASCAR on Fox crew is. They don't care about Gilliland. They care about Busch, but not Gilliland. And if you don't believe me, rewatch some of those races. And then you'll see I'm right. I don't know why this happens, but it's one of my least favorite reasons. And I say that because not only is it beyond true, but a lot of people will try to deny it. You ever notice that if something unpopular happens and the supposed reason is ESPN, everyone goes off the deep end?
Oh, why did ESPN do that? You suck. Boo.
But if NASCAR on Fox, regardless of network, does the exact same thing, it's all good?
Oh, we got no problems with that. It's all good. We love you.
Huh? 2 good examples. I remember hearing a story some time ago. And I do not remember exactly who the driver was. It was a driver in the Nationwide Series. I think it was Blake Cook. Supposedly, based on the story I heard, Blake Cook had a sponsor, and he was involved in a commercial. And supposedly, ESPN said that if the commercial was shown, or they put the sponsor on his car, they wouldn't show him. And apparently because of this, Blake lost his ride and the team shut down. So, apparently, when this happened, the fans go,
why did ESPN do that? Boo, you suck.
hold on. NASCAR and Fox has done the exact same thing. And I know this because this involves one of my NASCAR dozen. In 2009, one of my drivers, racing in the Truck Series. Yeah, you know which driver it is, don't you? Anyway. Funny picture on TV, never mind. Anyway, one of my drivers, who was sponsorless, got a sponsor from a gun-related company. Now, here's the thing here. The Speed Channel, who's a Fox affiliate at the time, and I'll get to that later, basically said the exact same thing.
If you put that sponsor on your truck, we're not going to show you.
And because of that, my driver got dished for another driver who had a sponsor for like 3 races. And it turned out to go on to this day of this taping. Did anyone make a fuss about it? No. Only the fans of that particular driver. Oh, so it's okay for Fox to do it, but not ESPN? Huh? How does it make any sense? On what planet does that make any sense? It doesn't. Here's another example. I remember back to 2008, the Phoenix race in the Chase that ESPN had coverage on ABC. The race ran severely long. To the point that it got up to the primetime point, which at that point was America's Funniest Home Videos. So, what ESPN decided to do was transfer the rest of the race to ESPN2. So the primetime people would have their thing, and the racing people would have their thing. There we go. Problem solved. Now to go on to the fans.
Why did they transfer to ESPN too? That was stupid. We should be able to preempt that kind of show. We don't like America's Funniest Home Videos. Wow.
Really? However, 2014 Bristol. You know where I'm going, don't you? Rain raged out that race on Fox all day long. To the point that because of the delay, they decided to put the rest of that particular race on Fox Sports 1. So shows like The Simpsons and Family Guy can be shown. I don't know about you, but I'd rather watch AFV than The Family Guy. Sure enough, the exact same thing as 2008 Phoenix, but because it's Fox, does anyone complain? No! Except for those who realizes the pattern. Stuff like that to me is way beyond garbage. Why is Fox allowed to get away with all this stuff, but ESPN isn't? You see, that's the reason ESPN is leaving, because they're feeling dissed. You don't believe me? Look it up. Because I got news for you. I was searching to see if fans were upset about the Fox deal at 2014 Bristol. You want to know how many results I got? Zip.
Zip, 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 zip.
Nobody whined about it, based on what I saw. Go find 2008 Phoenix race ESPN controversy.
Ow, I've got it all over the place. Still to this day.
Really? Seriously, why is Fox allowed to get away with all this stuff, but ESPN isn't? That doesn't make sense to me. Rage out Fox bias. That's beyond garbage to me. Another reason I don't approve of Fox to begin with. This one I know is going to be a favorite because even the ESPN haters agree with this one. Fox is losing its touch with its fans as a whole. What do I mean by that? All I gotta do is say 3 words. Fox Sports 1. And in this case, it's not just the auto racing fans. You see, back in 2013, in late August, Speed Channel, which was, well, to a lot of people, if not almost everyone, the favorite network for all of auto racing fans, they got ditched to put in Fox's attempt of being ESPN. Basically, this is Fox trying to say,
hey, guess what, ESPN? No one likes you, so we're gonna kick your butt.
good luck, you ain't gonna win that bet, no way. There's only 2 sports you're going to win over. That's cricket and rugby. That's it. And yes, for some reason they actually show that on Fox Sports 2 if you get it. Actually, wait a minute. There is a third sport that I like to show a heck of a lot, and that's UFC. So why don't you just become the UFC network and be done with it? Anyway, what Fox Sports 1 did was destroy the auto racing fans' hopes of being legitimate in terms of having their own network. The NFL has their own network, the NBA has their own network, the NHL has their own network, baseball has their own network. Not because of Fox Sports 1, auto racing doesn't have its own network anymore. Why? Why is that? You had the world at the palm of your hand, Fox people, with the Speed Channel. And you blew it. Oh, but it gets worse, especially if you like extreme sports. The channel formerly known as the Fuel Network became Fox Sports 2. Really? So you're dissing the auto racing people and the extreme sports people by trying to become ESPN. That's not gonna work. You've lost touch with your fans. Just face it, Fox people, it does not work that way. Now, I do remember a lot of the Fox-related people saying they miss the Speed Channel, but get over it. It ain't that simple. If a lot of fans believe that your network is superior to the opponent, why try to be like them? That does not work that way. It just doesn't. Diss the Fox Sports dud crap and get back to what we like. Speed Channel. And for you extreme sports people, the Fuel Network. Simple as that. That's how you win your fans back. And fixing these other issues that I'm going to mention here, that'll help too. This is a reason I know you ESPN haters are not going to agree with, but it's true for the rest of us. Fox shows too many commercials. More than any other network. Now, sure, they're not as bad as this.
Back at Kentucky, where Brad Keselowski, Tony Stewart stayed on the track. They are the top 2. We're back after a break.
But realistically, I don't want to watch a race and have 2 minutes of racing and 10 minutes of commercials. That's NASCAR on Fox in a nutshell to me. In fact, if you look back the last few years on how the races are run down, you will see that ESPN has a better majority of showing racing than NASCAR on Fox does. Fox shows more commercials. I know you guys don't want to believe it, but the info's there. Just look at it. And seriously, who wants to look at the same 5 commercials, like, what, 3 times every half hour? Really? Do we really want to do that? No, we don't. You want to watch racing. So, be real about that. And your split screen thing does not help either. Especially when your split screen is like, what? This big compared to this big commercial screen? Seriously, if you're going to compete with ESPN's level, at least have this screen a little bit bigger so people can actually see what car is where. Hello? I know you NASCAR and ESPN haters ain't going to agree with this one either, but it's true. The Fox crew in the booth makes way more bloopers than anyone else associated with ESPN or TNT for that matter. Let me go back to the most recent popular example, the Patrick Quapple incident. What? No lie. The California event, Mike Joy was trying to take care of some business about reviewing drivers, and somehow he mixed up Danica Patrick and Travis Quapple and said Patrick Quapple. Huh? And Marty Reid makes a lot of bloopers? Come on now. Oh man, all the garbage those guys have done. And you know what? I think I know a way we can settle this once and for all about who makes more bloopers. People on NASCAR Fox or people on NASCAR and ESPN. There's an easy way to settle this. The broadcasting under the influence guy, the guy who makes those videos, is doing a point system this year. So guess what? At the end of the year, whoever the top person is the one who made the most bloopers. All we gotta do is review who the top 10 are at the end of the year, and then we'll see once and for all who was right. Am I right in saying that NASCAR on Fox makes more bloopers? Because that's what I'm witnessing. Or are other people right by saying ESPN has more bloopers? With this being ESPN's last season for NASCAR coverage, we're going to find out once and for all, I guess. I personally can't wait to see how this is going to turn out. Oh, and by the way, the link to that dude's channel is right here. I made a logo for this next reason. It's pretty simple. Remember back to earlier when I said that NASCAR on Fox would only really mention like 7 to 11 drivers? There is 3 in particular that they will show more of than any other. And here they are. Yeah, I'm not kidding. This is what NASCAR on Fox is basically today, and for a long while has been. The Kyle Busch, Dale Jr., and Ryan Newman show. And to a certain extent, you can put guest starring Danica Patrick, because even though every network is guilty of mentioning her a lot, she is mentioned a lot by Fox. In fact, excluding Busch Jr. and Newman, I think she's the most mentioned driver there. So, basically, here's how this works. I don't know why, but these guys get mentioned more than any other driver on the face of the earth combined. Darrell Waltrip likes to cover Kyle Busch and Dale Jr. because to basically about 99% of the fans, they're on the opposite ends of the fans' spectrum. People who like Dale Jr. hate Kyle Busch, and people who like Kyle Busch hate Dale Jr. For the most part, there's no other way around it. So apparently, Waltrip thinks in his mind that if you cover both drivers, you take care of 99% of the fans. That's not how it works. And of course, we have Newman Man Crush boy Mike Joy. And if you don't believe me, watch this video later. We got to take care of other business here first. But oh my God, how many times do I have to hear Kyle Busch and Dale Jr. and Ryan Newman? Like, what, 95, 90, it's just so mind-boggling to me. Why do we have to hear about these drivers every single time? Now, Junior I get. He's an Earnhardt. He's the successor to Earnhardt Nation. Or in his world, Junior Nation. Kyle Busch to a certain extent when he's in contention. Not in 41st spot, 159 laps down like I said earlier. And Ryan Newman's about in the same boat, but oh my God, all the times that Mike Joy has to say his name. I got a video that actually proves this. Well, one of my YouTubian buddies does, but I don't. Here's the link to that video right there. And focus on my comment. Because as you'll tell, I'm right. So if you come to watch NASCAR on Fox just to catch the Kyle Busch, Dale Jr. and Ryan Newman show, you're in the right spot. If you're not big with any of those drivers, though, you're going to have a pretty bad time. Number 2. There's 2 reasons for number 2, actually. Michael and Darrell. The Waltrip brothers. Oh my God. How off whack can you get? What is wrong with these guys? As if Darrell's bias towards Kyle Busch and Dale Jr. trying to connect with 99% of the fans according to him isn't bad enough. Oh my God, the stupidity of that dude. And even if he denies it, he knows I'm right. Because here's the thing. How many times do we have to listen to boogity, boogity, boogity per season? Realistically, there's only 2 other catchphrases to come to mind when it comes to the opening laps. Marty Reed's and the fill-in-the-blank race is green. And the one time Benny Parsons had a catchphrase, which was a fan vote for a Memphis race in 2003, I think, where he had the fans vote on the phrase, and the phrase was, "Release the hounds!" I'm not kidding, that's what it was. I didn't find the race on YouTube as of this particular date of the video, but I do remember that, so I know it's out there. But anyway, as for Michael, he is just as ditzy, if not more, than Darrell. First of all, if you're a car owner, why are you in the booth? Second of all, you always have bias towards them. Third of all, you're not popular because of what happened in 2013 at my home track. Fourth of all, you two, according to a lot of people, are the worst announcers on the face of the earth. And according to a lot of people, you two are actually the reason NASCAR on Fox ain't as big as they were in yesteryear. Yes, I said yesteryear. I know a lot of people are going to say that NASCAR on Fox would be better if both of them leave. But I got a newsflash for you. They aren't going to be that better. ESPN would still be superior. Which leads to my number one reason. This one is as easy as pie. A lot of you will say it when it comes to Fox against ESPN, but for me, it's the polar opposite. The fact of the matter is, to me, and many, many others, because I'm not the only one, believe me, ESPN has flat out better announcing and better announcers. And I have data to back this up, people. So listen up. SportingNews.com's NASCAR section did a survey amongst its fans to who has the better quality of network coverage and who the best and worst announcers were. Now, modifying a chart where dots represent networks, here's the chart that came out. They did it by best announcer points. Now, how Mike Joy has almost 2,000 over the next closest person, Alan Beswick, I have no idea. But I want you to look closely here. The NASCAR on Fox people has more people towards the bottom than NASCAR on ESPN and NASCAR on TNT. In addition, the top 6 are 3 main guys from Fox and ESPN. Now, what you see here are the best announcer points. This is the only chart that came out via the results. I have a link of the exact article in the description in case you want to check it out. But let's see what happens when we rearrange it by the worst announcer points, shall we? Yeah, much different results, isn't it? Remember when I referenced the Waltrip brothers as number 2? Yeah, this pretty much proves it. The next highest guy, which by the way is a TNT guy, doesn't even have 4,000. And here's another interesting part. Take a look at the bottom part. The interesting thing about the bottom part of the graph is the bottom 6, 4 of them are ESPN guys. Which means realistically, according to the fans, in terms of worst announcer points, there are way more in the bad category for NASCAR on Fox than there is for NASCAR on ESPN. The interesting thing that I see here is that, yeah, Mike Joy won every category, but take him out of the equation, and then 4 of the top 5 would be NASCAR on ESPN people in terms of the worst announcer points, which means they're not as bad as many people make them out to be. Which means, guess what? NASCAR on ESPN is way better than many people think. In fact, let's try this another way. Percentage approval. Let's see how that chart worked. Yeah! Once again, 4 of the top 6 are NASCAR and ESPN people. Now, yes, Mike Joy has a pretty dang good approval rating, apparently. Must have been all Ryan Newman fans who voted that day or something. But anyway, you can basically tell right here that the NASCAR and ESPN people are actually better as a conservative element than the NASCAR on Fox people. In fact, the person who got the least amount of best announcer points, who is Brad Doherty, by the way, still has a better approval rating than Michael Waltrip. What does that tell you? And by the way, these are the same 2 guys who lost to all 3 TNT guys. Yeah. If you do a corrective algorithm about who the best announcer is, there's no doubt that Mike Joy was voted number 1. He got the least amount of worst announcer points, the most amount of best announcer points, and he has the best approval rating. But realistically, when you compare networks, even if you take Mike Joy out of the equation or leave him in, the fact of the matter is, as a whole, NASCAR and ESPN, according to the fans, has better coverage and better announcing. One guy doesn't make all the coverage. So think about that before you say anything. Because I know a lot of you is going to go say,
I'm trying to win every category, so NASCAR and Fox should be better.
this is a unit thing. And the fact that you see Jarrett, Bestwick, Everham, and Petrie in the approval ratings, big time, that's definitely going to tell you something. So guess what? No matter what you guys say, I have the data to back it up. Even though a lot of this is my opinion, I have data to back it up. When I verify the fact, not just my opinion, but the fact that ESPN has better announcing and better announcers.
Now, I know some of you is going to say, oh, of course, she likes Allie Betsy. It's her favorite.
Technically, no, because he's actually my second favorite. Bob Jenkins will always be number one to me. But the fact of the matter is, these are the reasons. These are the top 10 reasons that I prefer NASCAR and ESPN over NASCAR on Fox. The other networks that have been against Fox has been superior since day one. The announcers make stupid jokes. They only show 7 to 11 drivers at that. Fox can get away with whatever the heck it wants, which is annoying to be honest. Fox Sports 1 ruined everything. Fox shows more commercials. Fox has way more bloopers. The Kyle Busch, Dale Jr. and Ryan Newman show. The Waltrip brothers. And the flat-out fact that ESPN has better announcing and better announcers. It's not just my opinion. I have shown you the data to back it up. You guys can choose to believe me if you want. And I know probably like maybe 75% of you won't. But now you know my reasons. These are the top 10 reasons that I prefer NASCAR and ESPN than NASCAR on Fox. So, as one ESPN show would say, let's embrace debate. Do you agree with me? Do you not? What are your reasons for liking Fox more, or TNT more, or ESPN more? Tell me your reasons. That's all I want to hear. If you got a reason you like one more than the other, now's the time to say it. I told you my reasons, and what are yours? Let's embrace debate. This is Ultimate23Dragon. That's my final answer.